Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. My name is Rachel. If you tuned in last week, you know that it was my sister's 30th birthday, and today is also a very exciting day because it is my mother's birthday. So today's yoga flow is inspired by her, so feel free to wish her a happy birthday. Her name is Peggy. Leave a comment below if you want to wish her happy birthday, and find a little bit of space to move, you guys. Let's get started, and just remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll get started by just finding a comfy seated position today. So whatever that looks like for you, you can find your way there, placing your hands either on your knees or in your lap, and then let your eyes close whenever you feel like doing so. And starting to feel your breath, letting go of your day or whatever it is that you have to do after this yoga practice. And just be right here, right now. Just you, just your breath, just your body. And if you feel like sitting nice and still for these next few moments, you can stay sitting completely still. And if you want to do a little bit of stretching right from the start, you can bring your hands to the floor beside you. I want you to sit tall with an inhale. Exhale, release. With your next inhale, start to reach your right arm up to the ceiling and add a little lean over to the side. Get a nice side body stretch here. Reaching with those fingertips up and over. And using an inhale, lifting yourself back up and trying the other side. Inhale, your left arm up and over. So really reaching with those fingertips, creating as much length through the side body that you can. Awesome job, you guys. Use an inhale, lifting yourself all the way up. We're going to take our hands and clasp them behind us. Squeeze the palms together. So if your hands are resting on your low back, see if you can just lift them up into the air. And as you create length through the arms and pull the shoulders back, as you open the chest, maybe lift the chin up a little bit. And just staying for another breath here, squeezing those palms together. And then you can relax, bringing your hands in front of you, interlace the fingers again, push the palms to the front of the room or away from you. And as you push them away, start to drop the chin to the collarbone and imagine you're separating the shoulder blades away from each other. It should feel nice and good if you're tight through the shoulders. And when taking a nice big inhale, let's sweep those arms, those hands, all the way up above the head, lifting the chin. And as you exhale, release your arms back to your sides or to your lap. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Nice, you guys. Come onto your hands and knees. Tabletop position. Scooch the wrists so they're right under the shoulders, spreading your fingers nice and wide. And with an inhale, start to drop your belly towards the mat and lift your chest, looking forward or maybe looking up a little bit more. And stay for another inhale. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Squeeze your belly button in. Again, pull the shoulder blades away from each other. And with your next breath in, start to drop the belly, lift the chest, the chin. And exhale, let's round. Let's do one more inhale. And exhale, just warming up the spine, the shoulders, and inhale, come back to a nice flat back. Check that your fingers are still spread nice and wide. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift on up into downward facing dog. So taking just a few breaths here to warm up. If you want to take your dog for a little walk, you can bend one knee, you can straighten the other. Feeling the length through the back of the legs. Just finding the breath, always coming back to the breath. Nice job, you guys. With your next inhale, start to look between your hands. And exhale, walk your feet up to the top of your mat, nice and slow. Go for a little walk. And then once you get to the top, your feet can be together or hip width apart, but just let the upper body be heavy, the head be heavy. You can clasp the hands behind the low back if you want it, or just let the arms dangle down. Just feeling the length through the legs. Maybe have a nice bend through the knee. Maybe have the legs a little straighter. If you've got your hands behind the low back, you can start to release them all the way towards your mat. Everybody bend your knees and take an inhale. Start to lift your upper body. You can start to lengthen the legs if you'd like it, but go for a nice flat back here, slightly gazing forward. Hands can find the shins. Take another inhale. And exhale, folding back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Stick your butt out. Feel those hamstrings. And exhale, fold. Let's do one more. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold back down. Walk your feet back. Downward facing dog. We're going to bring our big toes together. Inhale, your right foot up into the air for three-legged dog. Pausing here for a moment. See if you can keep those hips square with each other. Maybe flex that foot that's in the air. Find the length through that leg. And breathe. Nice job, you guys. So with our hips square right now, you can keep that right hip in line with the left, or you can start to open up a little bit, maybe stacking the right hip on top of the left. You might be able to lift the foot in the air a little bit higher as you open up the hips. Let's take one more breath in. And exhale, slowly drop that right foot down next to the left one and inhale the left foot up, starting with those hips nice and square. Belly button's coming back towards the spine. Warming up those shoulders and those legs. Awesome, you guys. Keep the hips square, or maybe try and open up that left hip, lifting it even higher. Even that foot can go a little higher if it wants to. Three-legged dog. Awesome job, you guys. Take another breath in. And exhale. Lower the left foot next to the right one. Bend your knees. Inhale, look between your hands. And exhale, walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, folding back down. Plant your hands, step back into your downward facing dog. Our big toes are going to come back together. Inhale your right foot up into the air. Look between your hands, and as you exhale, send that right foot through. Drop your back knee, finding a nice low lunge. So your hands can stay planted, or they can come up onto the knee, but sink the hips forward, getting into that hip flexor. Relaxing through the shoulders. Slowing down the breath. Nice job, you guys. If your hands are on your knee, just stay for another inhale. And use an exhale to bring your hands back down to the mat. We're just going to tuck the back toes under, and that front foot is going to come to the back of the mat. And now we're in a high plank. So from your knees or your toes, find a plank that works for you. You could even be on your forearms. Waking up the entire body here. I know my mom loves to do the plank. My sister loves to do the plank. Everybody loves planks, right? Nice work, you guys. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale. Slowly, slowly lower yourself down to your mat. Hug those elbows into your sides. Untuck the toes, find the top of your feet, and inhale into your cobra. Lift the chest. You can stay low, or you could straighten the arms a little bit more, whatever feels good. But we're just gonna take a little rocking movement side to side, so you can kind of start to look for your back foot or to your shoulder. Your hips can be moving here, whatever feels good. And then eventually, let's find our way back through center. Take another inhale and exhale. Lower your chest down, tuck your toes underneath, push yourself up onto your hands and knees, and then into downward facing dog. Walk your big toes together. Inhale your left foot up. And exhale, send that left foot through to the top of the mat, dropping your back knee, sinking into that nice low lunge. Option to keep the hands on the mat or bring them up to the knee. Getting into that hip flexor though. Finding the breath once you're there and just relaxing that upper body, those hips. Nice work, you guys. Take another inhale if your hands are on the knee. And use an exhale to bring them down. Tuck your back toes. Find your way back into your high plank. So you can be on your knees or on your toes. You can be on your forearms as well. We're going to come for a little side plank though. So walk your legs together. Your feet are your knees. Start to roll onto the outside of the right leg. Find a nice strong side plank. Lift those hips high to the sky. Squeeze those obliques. Awesome, you guys. So one more inhale on the right side. Exhale, bring that left hand back down and let's go straight to the other side. Side plank, left forearm, left palm, wherever you want to be. Whatever feels good. Whatever's working your core. Just breathe wherever you are. Take one more inhale and exhale. Bring that right hand down. Take another breath in and exhale. Lower maybe halfway chaturanga, maybe all the way down to your mat. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Use an inhale to look between your hands. Exhale, walk or step to the top of your mat. We're just going to move our feet out to the edges of the mat, and then turn your heels in just a little bit. You know what, guys? I'm going to turn to face you. I'm just going to turn. So have your heels in a little bit. We're going to bend our knees and come all the way down into a yogi squat. So however low you can get those hips. If you want to take a block or a book or something and stick it under your butt just to help support you, go for it. Maybe you're up here and you're working those quads a lot. Yogi squat is a nice hip opener. So take your elbows, push them into your knees or your triceps into your knees, and bring your hands together at prayer. Maybe you want to close your eyes, lift the chest, keep the chest nice and proud. Softening through those shoulders. Nice, you guys. So bring your hands to the floor. We're going to come up. So you're going to straighten your legs. You're going to lift the hips. You can turn the heels out just a little bit so your toes are pointing forward. And we're just going to fold. So this is just a nice little break from that squat, a nice forward fold. Nice job, you guys. So we're going to come back down. So just take a second to turn the heels in a little bit, toes out just a touch, and then come nice and low back into that yogi squat. So this time, take those elbows or triceps, push them into the knees, open up those hips a little bit more, and then your left hand is just going to come to the floor. Just past your knee. Still want you pushing your tricep into your knee to open up that hip. And then just start to reach up with the right fingertips. Maybe look up. Awesome, you guys. Take one more inhale. Use an exhale to bring that right hand down. Switch sides. Just reach it out to the side. Push the tricep into the knee. And then inhale that left hand, fingertips up to the ceiling. Getting in a little twist. Opening up that left hip a lot. Or sorry, that right hip. Take another inhale. And exhale, bring your hands down. Start to lift the hips. Lengthen those legs and fold forward. You can scooch the heels out a little bit so the toes are pointing straight forwards. But just fold forward. Nice work, you guys. So you can start to bend your knees a little bit here. We're just going to bring our hands to the floor, actually, and we're going to bring our knees down. Let's bring our knees all the way down to the mat. So we'll be standing on our knees. So if you need a little padding for your knees, you can roll your mat over, stick a towel or something under your knees. Hands are going to find the low back. So your fingers can point up your back or they can point down, whatever feels better. But pick one option. You can always switch it up. So pushing the hips forward as you have your hands on your low back, push those hips forward and start to pull the chest backwards. So coming into camel pose, a nice heart opener. So you don't have to go so far in this one. Just push those hips forward, start to pull the chest back, gently draw the elbows towards each other, just very gently. Open that chest a little more, shine the heart to the ceiling, and maybe look up. Maybe you want to let your head fall all the way back. Stay where you're at for one more full breath. Then use an inhale to lift up and just sit back on your heels, bringing your hands to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment and just sit nice and tall through the spine. Awesome work, you guys. Let's go up one more time. So come back up onto your knees. Just one more camel pose. So hands can find the low back, or maybe this time you want to reach your hands for your heels, or maybe the floor or somewhere. But just push the hips forward, open the chest, look up or look back. Taking one last full breath. And using an inhale to lift yourself back up. Sit back on your heels. Just slide your knees out to the edges of your mat. And then find child's pose. So you can reach your arms out in front or have them beside you. But just drop the forehead. Bringing length into the spine. And using an inhale, let's start to lift on up out of child's pose. Bring your hands to the mat. Walk your knees back in, and we're just going to slide our knees over to the right side. So bring your knees together as much as you can, and then just drop the left hip down so that you're kind of sitting on that left hip and your knees are stacking on top of each other. Then both of your hands are going to come in front, and you're going to drop your chest. So a nice twist. But we're just using the floor to kind of pull our knees back a little bit. If you want to get into your neck, you can bring the right cheek or ear down, or maybe the left one feels better. So when you're ready to come on up, just use an inhale to lift your upper body up. And then your left hand is going to stay planted. We're still on that left hip, but I want you to straighten the bottom leg out behind you. So the top knee, that right knee, still bent and out to the side. You're going to take your right hand to the floor behind you and look to your bottom foot or your back foot. Getting a bit of a twist. You might also be feeling this through your side body. And then slowly, slowly, we're going to start to make our way out of this. So take that hand that's behind you, bring it to the floor. Just lift your hips up off the mat, bending your knees again. Find your tabletop, and then walk your knees over to the left edge of your mat. Kiss them together, and then drop that right hip down. So setting up that twist, knees are stacking on top of one another if you can get them there. And then you can drop your chest down. So slowly with an inhale, start to push yourself back up. The right hand's going to stay planted. We're going to take that bottom leg and straighten it out behind us. The left knee can stay bent, and the left hand is going to come behind the hips, looking to the back wall or the bottom foot. Nice work, you guys. Slowly start to come out of this one. Lift the hips up. We're just going to cross our ankles and lay down onto our backs. So as you lay down, just keep your feet planted. Slide your heels nice and close to your hips. And use an inhale to lift your hips up. Bridge pose. Just a few more breaths here. Push into your feet. Awesome work, you guys. Slowly bringing your hips back down onto the mat. Just either keep the feet planted and do a little rock from side to side, or you can hug your knees into your chest and do a little rock from side to side. And then starting to extend your legs out nice and long. Just taking your hands and clasp them behind your head. Pull your chin towards your collarbone and look to your feet. Slide them out to the edges of your mat. Staying for another inhale. And exhale, lowering your head back down. Nice and slow. Taking your arms, resting them beside you. Flipping your palms to face up. Let's take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Awesome work today, you guys. Happy birthday, Mom. Feel free to wish her happy birthday in the comments below. Have a great day, you guys. And if it's your birthday today too, happy birthday to you. Until we meet again, namaste.